Hey there, Al Iverson here. Time for another one of your email authentication and deliverability questions answered. What are we going to talk about this time around? We're going to talk about DMARC adoption rates. Where are we at industry-wide, or let's take a snapshot of that ecosystem and show you where DMARC is represented, how it's growing, and what kind of policies are people putting in place. Before we get to the numbers, so let's talk for a minute about my methodology. I take a list of the top 10 million domains. There's a fair number of those types of lists out there. I get mine from a website called host.io. My goal here is not to focus on any particular DMARC vendor or email security platform. That's why I chose this list. It's just a big sample list of domains from known entities, known companies. I just take that, and every month I log the DMARC data associated with that from the public DNS, save that every month so that I can present it and share it with people like you. That methodology does have some limitations. Keeping in mind that the ranking from that top 10 million is based on web traffic, not email traffic. So while the correlation is there as far as high ranking, meaning important, perhaps important to protect, it's not exact, and it's not going to be a perfect correlation. Of course, every domain merits DMARC protection ultimately, but not everybody understands the value of DMARC, and it's a growth opportunity there as more and more people come to recognize how important DMARC is. So this is one of the ways we measure people who have chosen to implement it versus people who have not chosen to implement it yet. Keep in mind also that this underreports data, undoubtedly to some degree. Many domains outside of that top 10 million have DMARC protection in place. Again, this is a very specific snapshot trying to grab a wide piece of that email ecosystem. It's not a very deep piece. It's not gonna grab every possible domain out there that's protected with DMARC. Though in my best efforts, I do exclude some bad DMARC records. There's some stuff in there, some funny stuff where they put P equals policy or don't have a policy record at all, or other stuff like that. I try to exclude some of that, but I don't always get all of it. So it's some people do have trouble setting up DMARC, and hey, that's why companies like Valimail exist, right? That's why we're here, to help you implement DMARC properly and be able to protect your domains properly. So if you need help with your DMARC record, we are ready to help. We're here to help. You find us at valimail.com, and we'll guide you through everything you need to do to protect your business against phishing and spoofing. Now on to the data. Let's talk about DMARC growth by month. Again, this is my 10 million domains data set. I've been updating this since June 2023. The data can be a little funny sometimes in that who ranks in that top 10 million varies month over month, but it gives us a good broad strokes look at how DMARC is growing across this chunk of the email ecosystem. We can say thank you to Yahoo and Google. Right about there between January and February 2024 is when everybody decided to implement DMARC. They see that huge jump there. They implemented DMARC in response to the requirements from Yahoo and Google, those updated sender requirements. But you can see, but a lot of that growth is in policy of none, P equals none, which is a good start, and it's great that Yahoo and Google have driven broader understanding and knowledge that DMARC exists and that it has to be implemented, but that P equals none does not protect domains. So keep in mind that if you're on a DMARC journey, P equals none is the start, it's not the finish. If you want to protect your domain against phishing and spoofing, you're not going to do it successfully with P equals none. So let's try taking that out of the data and look at policies that actually protect domains a little bit better. Again, there could be little bits of junk around the edges in here. It's hard to go through all of this en masse and ensure that every single DMARC record is correct. But broadly speaking, when I look at the growth of DMARC policies specific to quarantine or reject, over the last 5 months, there's been at least 10,000 or more new domains going live with their DMARC policy for the first time, updating from nothing to a policy of quarantine or reject. So it's great to see that there's growth specific to quarantine or reject to actually protect those domains. And that's sort of the meat of it. where companies are working with DMARC providers and setting up that reporting and setting up that protection to know what's going on out there, as opposed to the DIYers, right? So many of them probably just did that P equals none. They're not actually looking at reporting. Missed opportunity there. But even when you account for that, it's good to see there's still a bunch of growth there. Again, there's more than 10,000 new domains per month showing up in just my monitoring specifically. And I'm sure that's underreported because, again, I have this very specific slice that I'm looking at. And there you go. That's DMARC growth month over month. I'm going to keep tracking this. I'll keep sharing it periodically. So you can always watch for that in my little video series or on the Valimail blog. And if you have any questions that you would like to ask, I'd love to hear from you. Maybe we can take one of your questions and use it for a future video like we've done for the past couple of videos. Feel free to drop me an email, al.iverson@valimail.com. And that's it for now. Thanks. Have a great day.